Hello. Good morning. My goodness, I don't even know what time it was. It's okay, it's 10 o'clock, so I'm right on time for when I usually go live, but I didn't give you guys any warning, so I'm sorry. I usually send out sorry, an email or a post. I don't quite have my shit together this week. I was away last week and I'm playing a little bit of catch up. So I'm sorry I didn't give you guys any warning, but I always leave these here and send out an email too, so you'll hear about it somehow, right? So this week I wanted to pop on here and talk about meditation a little bit. I do talk about, usually I do lives about de-stressors, your personal de-stressors, and what I talk about is finding what helps you reduce your different emotions that would be labeled under stress, like, or stress and anxiety, like what to do when you feel sad, what to do when you feel angry, what to do when you feel stressed or anxiety, and using different types of de-stressors to handle those things. But today and there's many, many different ones that you can use. But today, okay, this picture is really, sorry. I go live in two different places, and so like when I'm looking at my screen, I see two of myself, and I don't like it. I wish I, I wish I could just see one. Um, and there's my warning about my crappy signal. But it always seems to work out good, so I'm not going to worry about that. So I wanted to talk about this because in my new book club, it's the Aligned and Worthy. I call it the Aligned and Worthy Mini Mind. I'm thinking of changing that because no one gets the whole mini mind thing. So it's kind of like a little mini mastermind, but it's basically we're going into reading self-development books, going through the process together, and going through the action steps together. And I plan on going live in that group every once in a while, also to give some quick tips. And then once a month, we'll be doing like a book discussion on the book that we read and going over like the challenges and the pluses and the pros and the cons and all that stuff. So, like a typical book club on steroids, really. So anyway, we're reading the book Stress Less, Accomplish More, and I had to come on here and share more because I've been certified to teach meditation. I create meditations. Being all honest, I do still struggle with um, having a regular meditation practice. I usually meditate at least once a day, but then every once in a while, I go through these little stints where I'll go through like 3 or 4 days where I don't meditate. And so I'm pretty good at everything else, like exercising and eating well and everything. And I always hop back on track, but it's such a short period of time every day. So I wanted to read this book and try to focus on really creating that habit the way I do with my workouts and with my yoga and make it just something that is like a no brainer, like it just happens every day, like brushing your teeth, right? So I had to share though because even though I have the certification, also I'm getting my I'm doing my yoga teacher training right now, and we do a little bit of meditation training in there. And a lot of the stuff that I learned in this book, I've never learned before. So I was like, this is crazy that I've never been taught this before. And I'm not going to go over everything because it would just be too much for a live. I don't like making these lives really long, but I wanted to share a few things with you that to me were like, holy crap, like this is really cool. And so I'm going to read through my notes so that, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. I'm going to read through some of the highlights of my notes that I take when I do the book club that I was like, wow, this is so cool. So to get started, she talks about how it's hard to make meditation a practice, and a lot of people feel like they fail at meditation because they can't quiet their mind and settle down. And she talks about, and this is something I didn't know, and I'm a health coach, a life coach, like I have all these certifications, and I didn't know this. So the mind thinks, I can't read my own handwriting. The mind thinks just as the heart beats, okay? So your heart beats automatically. So automatically, involuntarily, that's what I was trying to write there. I can't read my own writing. So the mind thinks involuntarily, just like the heart beats. So you don't have to think or tell your heart to beat. The mind is the same way. You can't stop thinking. You can't clear your mind. You can't stop it from thinking. So like, why doesn't anybody else tell us this, right? I'm always like, my mind's going like in a million different places. I feel like I can never stop thinking. That's why I like guided meditations because it distracts me, right? So that's why I like guided meditation. So that's like the first thing I want anybody who has tried meditation, who feels like they fail at it, I want you to know that, because the benefits of meditation and making this a practice, it benefits every part of your life, every single part, okay? So meditation helps you get rid of stress from the now. So like guided meditations really help you from the now. The technique that she uses in the book, which she calls the Z technique, which is based on this 6,000-year-old system. Let me see if I have the name here. Nishkam Karma Yoga. Wait, no, Sanskrit for union attained by action. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's 6,000 years old. And I always say this to a lot of my clients, where I'm like, if it's that old and they're still using it, it must work, you know. So so it helps you get rid of stress from the past, and it gives you that deep healing rest, deeper than sleep. Okay, and if you're not getting enough sleep, you're not healing while you sleep. Your body heals while you sleep. So and it detoxes too. I don't know if you know that, but your brain detoxes. Everything detoxes while you sleep. So if you're not getting enough sleep, not only are you not detoxing great, but you're also not healing. So it's 2 to 5 times deeper than what you get from sleep. Okay, and when you give your body the space to heal, I talk about this a lot. It heals. The body automatically heals. Think about when you cut yourself and how it heals all by itself. But it does have to be a little bit of the environment is part of that. So you want to wash it out, make sure it doesn't get infected, right? And even if it does get infected, most likely it will heal. Maybe you'll have a scar, but it'll be a lot quicker if it's in the right environment. And that's how our bodies are. Our bodies can heal if you give it the right environment. Part of that is reducing your stress and anxiety levels, and meditation can do that for you. Um, so this type of meditation uses a mantra, and we haven't completed this book yet. We're still reading it in the book club, and so we haven't actually got to like the meditation method. And I'm just like so amped up and excited to like learn this meditation method. But I still have been doing my meditation at least once a day, and I think part of her technique is to do 15 minutes twice a day. So this is not a lot. This is not a big commitment at all. Um, what else do I have highlighted here? Okay, the goal is to not become a world-class meditator. So that's something to remember. You're not really trying to get good at meditation. You do it to feel better and have a great life. Okay, so you're just doing it to feel better. Um, Meditation helps you create more time, optimizing your cognitive capabilities. Oh my God, I almost couldn't say that. Um, but you have to have the intention when you're meditation to improve your current state of being. So that's important, to always have an intention when you go into meditation. And I always do that. I do that when I do my yoga practice too. I always have an intention. A lot of teachers that I follow ask you to do that. So I do. I'm not going to a traditional studio because I live in a very rural area, and it's very hard to find a yoga studio. So I use Yoga with Adriene and Kat Meffin, Catmeff. I think it's In. I don't know, but she's on YouTube, and they're both of them are wonderful. Kat Meffin is a little more. I find her to be a little more like advanced, like or difficult, and Yoga with Adriene is like really good for like beginners, but she also has some really hard classes too. So I like both of them. They're both great. So then we go into stress. She starts talking about stress and worry. Stress and worry is wasted energy. Very true. She talks about how you spend your time. So she's trying to validate spending 15 minutes twice a day meditating. So we spend a lot of time on stress and worry, which is a total waste of time. We also spend plenty of our time doing things like scrolling on social media, Netflix, watching TV. Why not use that time for the meditation to increase your performance, to improve your life and become a better, more efficient human? So I love that she talks about how you can find some time to do this, because everybody feels like they have such a short amount of time, and you want to be able to create the time and space to do this. And I actually have a class where I do this. It's like a short master class. It's very inexpensive. It's on my website, but I call it the Time Expansion Master Class. And I teach you how to create time and space in your life. Um, just by doing things by like de-stressing and decluttering, and teaching you where to look for those little bits of time, like she talks about scrolling social media, checking your email, watching Netflix. Now, there is a time and place where you just need to chill. Like, I've said this a million times to my friend where I'm like, I just need to watch stupid TV right now. Like, everybody gets to that place where they just like, I want to turn off my brain and not really think about anything. I don't want to watch a documentary kind of thing. Um, so, some of the benefits from doing like 30 minutes a day meditation in two separate points, 15 minutes maybe in the morning, maybe at night. I'm planning on doing morning and afternoon. So you get more done, you are more relaxed, you achieve your goals quicker, that you never believed maybe were attainable in the first place. You increase your problem solving powers, that's very important. You're more open to creative solutions and you have more energy to deal with adversity. So this is a very important point that she makes. You have more energy to deal with adversity. So the more stressed you are, the shorter you become. You ever notice that? Like you have this super stressful day, and then you come home and your kids or your significant other says something to you, and you snap their head off when they had nothing to do with your stressful day. And this is because you're out of energy. You're just out. Like you have nothing left. And so you can't deal with anything adverse. Okay, so that helps you with that, and I think that's a really important point to understand because we're all dealing with this, especially right now. I feel like there's a lot of stress and tenseness in the world, and I feel like we really need to like tone that down a bit so that we can put our bodies in a state of relaxation and have a little more patience with everybody else in the world. She says you'll marvel at your ability to do things. Now, I'm not like trying to sell her book right now. I'm just telling you that I was like very impressed with a lot of the points that she made. So, in order to remove ourselves from perpetual fight or flight, we need to take daily action to eradicate the backlog of stress. And that's what this meditation helps you do. It helps you get rid of past stress, not just current stress, which I think is also another good point to make. Now, she talks about how meditation de-excites the nervous system. So this is a point that was mind-blowing to me too, because I always say running is my stress relief, running is my meditation. And it does um, create stress relief in that moment because you're releasing, like, so say you're angry or whatever, anxious, going out for a run releases that energy. Okay, you can get that out, but exercise and running excite the nervous system, so it's not going to help you heal like any backlog of stress. And so while it's very positive to use movement to de-stress, it's also very positive and important to use to de-excite the nervous system with meditation to be able to remove the backlog of stress and heal like past stresses that are held in the body. So I think that's really important to understand that movement is really for like stress that you experience in the now, and meditation is stress like that are healing um, things that you're storing in your body. Okay, so I thought that was very important and something I didn't really know, so to speak. But the more I thought about it, I'm like, I kind of knew that, but not enough to point it out to other people that I'm teaching. Another point that she makes is she says stress is not what happens to you, it's your reaction to what's happening. And so this goes back to her talking about having that reserve to be able to deal with different stressful situations, and so being able to respond instead of react. And I talk a lot about that in my Aligned and Worthy program, which is my boot camp, the Deep Level Self-Care Boot Camp. So, what stress is not is your deadlines, your breakups, your family get togethers, your morning commute. All these are demands. Stress is what we allow these demands to have, the type of reaction we allow these demands to have on us. Okay? So, it's all about being able to respond instead of react. And that's kind of like maddening sometimes because people say to you, you have to choose to be happy, which can be really frustrating for someone who's actually really depressed because it's really not a choice when you're actually really depressed. But choosing to be happy, if you're not in a state of depression, is something that you can actually choose. And choosing to react, to like slow down in that moment and say, okay, I'm not going to react, is absolutely allowed. Like there's no rule that says you have to react to a situation that you're in instantaneously. It's more about thinking things through. If you need a day to respond to something, take the day. You need 5 minutes, say, I need to take 5 minutes, and then I'll respond. Um, if you need to respond to someone by email in order not to be interrupted, in order to not have a reactionary kind of argument or something like that, these are all your rights. Like these are the boundaries that you can set, and it's allowed. You make your own rules, so just remember that. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. So I'm not going to get like too into like all these details because um, it is a great book. All right, so here we're talking about sick of being sick, and we go back into our bodies are designed to heal, but the stress can overwhelm our immune system from running well. So my take on this is meditation equals stress relief, which equals less sickness. And so she says personally, when she started meditating, she used to get sick all the time. She worked in Broadway, which is very stressful. And when she started meditating, she didn't get sick anymore. She used to get sick multiple times a year. She never got sick anymore. So less time on antibiotics, less time at the doctor, less time taking medications. Definitely a plus. Meditation helps rewire your brain, calm your nervous system, create new neural pathways, lowers stress hormones, decreases inflammation. And let's remember, inflammation is the root of all disease. Okay, so it decreases inflammation, lowers heart rate, blood pressure, increases um, your focus, and helps ground you. So, I mean, these are just amazing things that can help every part of your life. Like I see it as it helps every part. It helps your health, it helps your relationships, it helps your job, your career, it helps like every part of your life. It promotes healing on a cellular level, and this has been proven with studies, which she talks about in the book a lot. I'm not going to get into that because that's kind of boring, but actually, I find it interesting, but I'm not going to sit here and recite studies to you guys. When you start your day with a healthy habit, this is another important point. When you start your day with a healthy habit, you're more likely to continue on that path for the day, meaning you want to do other healthy habits. So you meditate in the morning, you feel good, you might want to exercise or get outside into nature. Because when you meditate, it creates like these bliss chemicals, dopamine and serotonin. Within seconds from starting meditation, you get these chemicals flooding into your system. Um, these chemicals, dopamine and serotonin, are alkaline in nature, and their presence in the body helps neutralize the acid in your body. So, if you want to counteract acid in your body, you can meditate. Like, how amazing is that? Okay. Oh my God, there's just so many things in her practice where she teaches a lot of people. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think she's based in New York City. She does live classes, she has online classes. But anyway, she's seen them help um, lessen symptoms with burnout, chronic fatigue, depression, anxiety, infertility, irritable bowel syndrome, migraines, Parkinson's disease. Is like a little. I put a little asterisk there because she only had one case, but it was so dramatic. Pain, because fear can exaggerate pain, so lessening fear can help reduce the pain. So like she makes the point to say like it's not in the place of medications, it's as a tool to use with them to lessen symptoms and addictions. Um, and then she even had more, but these are the ones that really stood out to me. She also talks about how it's like the fountain of youth because we allow stress makes you look old. Basically, it actually reduces the elasticity in your skin, so it really does. You get premature gray. There's other things that it causes. But one of the quotes that she said that I loved is, "We allow stress to live rent free in our bodies," and we really do. Like we allow ourselves to be stressed out, and we don't do anything about it a lot of times. We really don't. Um, so instead of chasing youth, she says, because it's a privilege to get old, and I do feel that way, we should be chasing health, growing older in more natural ways. And I agree with that 110%. With meditation, you become the best version of your age right now. And I love that because, like, someone said to me when I let my hair grow gray, it was like a comment that I got online, and she really wasn't trying to be mean. Like, her comment was, oh, your hair looks beautiful, um, but you could look 10 years younger if you dyed your hair. And I was like, but why? Okay, so in my 50s. Why do I want to look 10 years younger? Is it because men typically want younger women? I don't really give a shit. Like I could give a shit if I have a man in my life or not. So like it's like I'm really happy the way I am. It would be nice to have a man friend, but like if that's like the deciding factor, like they don't like my gray hair, then they could just fuck off, you know what I mean? So like I want to be the best version of myself the way I'm aging right now. I have a lot of gray hair. I had a lot of stress in my life, okay? I have wrinkles. I have crow's feet because I smile a lot. So like these are just parts of getting old, and being that I almost died when I was 39, I consider it a privilege to get old. But I do want to look good. I don't want to look like shit. So like I do my best. I just want to be the best version of myself at my age. So I love that she says that because that's exactly how I feel. Um, mm, mm, mm. So she goes on to talk about all these studies, and this one was mind blowing to me because I have a lot of dementia and Alzheimer's in my family, and she says an average meditation practice, this was a study she talked about that was done, has evidence of keeping the brain up to 20 years younger. So that's really amazing. And she says, what kind of body do you want? Okay, do you want a body full of fear or full of bliss? So, like fear chemicals, all those chemicals like cortisol that rush into your body when you're like fear based, you're in fight or flight, or the bliss chemicals that you get from meditation, you know, the dopamine and the serotonin, which are actually health promoting chemicals in your body. So, it's kind of like eating. Like, what kind of food do you want to put in your body? Food that creates disease in your body, or food that helps improve your health. It's the same thing. What kind of like I don't know if emotions are the right word, but what kind of emotions do you want to have in your body on a regular basis? You know, putting those different chemicals into your body. Do you want to be like happy or do you want to be stressed or in fear? Okay, so I choose happy. I choose happy. And I've been really stressed lately, so that's one of the reasons why I picked this book to read in the book club. I've been really stressed with just like a lot of the outside things going on in the world, and I was like, I need to like learn how to like step back a little bit and chill out. Um, oh, and then lastly, she talks again about how when you start one healthy habit, you're more likely to start others. And I totally agree with that. And so I just wanted to share that with you today to encourage you to start a meditation practice. If you have any questions that you want to ask me on how to get started, definitely just reach out to me. You could private message me. You could also post a link in below, like in the comments, however you want to contact me. You can email me, tina@tinastinson.com, if you need help getting started. I also have, I put together a little coaching program, like a little coaching package that's like just 3 months that you could do with me. So if you're interested in starting a meditation practice and you want me to like hold your hand and hold you accountable, I feel like after 3 months you could really be fine with going off on your own and doing it and keeping it up. So if you want to learn more about meditation and like ease yourself into it and learn how to make it a habit, then you could do that 3 month coaching program with me. And if you're interested in that, I don't have a link for it. Just message me. Just message me below or email me, like I said, tina@tinastinson.com. But either way, you could always use one of those apps. The app that I do meditations for is Aura, but there's tons of meditations apps, so it's just a matter of finding one that you like. And you can also just go to YouTube and get free meditations there just to get started if you want to try it out. I would suggest if you've never meditated before or if you've meditated and found it completely frustrating to do like a 3 minute meditation. So like just Google 3 minute meditation. That is the best way to get started. And when I'm having like one of those days where I'm just like hyped up and I don't feel like I can calm down, I do a 3 minute meditation still to this day because I know it'll lower my stress levels and I'll be able to get it done because it's only 3 minutes. So start there. So that's it for today. If you want to join us in the book club reading this book, I think I could say maybe we're like halfway through, but we haven't got into the meditation yet. So if you want to join us in there, that's super inexpensive. I do it on Patreon. It's all recordings, and then like anytime we do like a group thing, like the group video chat at the end of the book, that would be on a Zoom. So there's 3 different levels. It's $8, $11, and $25. The $25 level is the one where we do like the Zoom call and stuff like that. So, but it's very inexpensive to be a part of the book club if you want. And we're just going to read all different types of self development books that are fun. I'm just trying to make it fun, not depressing. So I can put the link for that below. So you don't have to like reach out to me for that. I'll put that link below. But like I said, any questions, just reach out. I'll be glad to help. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. Do something today that's fun. I'm dressed like this because today is garden day for me. Going into the garden to pick stuff. My garden is like out of control right now because I was away for a week. And so all my beets are ready. So I'm picking all my beets. I'm going to saute my beet greens and probably freeze them because I couldn't eat that many. I'm going to pick my kale. I have so much kale. I'm going to freeze that. Probably eat some of it too. And the beets, I'm going to, I think, can. I might can these, and then the next, I'm going to plant more beets because I still have time. And the next ones, I'm going to roast and freeze to like, and I use them to just throw on top of salads. I love throwing beets on top of salads. So I'll take pictures of that and post that in here just in case you want to see how freaking crazy my garden is, and all the stuff that I'm going to pick today. So I will see you next Sunday for Self Care Sunday. I don't plan on going away until like the fall again. So I shouldn't be missing any more Sundays. So I'll see you next Sunday. Bye. I love you. Okay. It's hard to like log off. Okay. Bye, guys.